Good evening and welcome to ThaiPBS World. In his interview with ThaiPBS World last night, Kun Arin Jira, chairman of the ASEAN Business Advisory Council, touted the success of ASEAN in many areas. But he also admitted that ASEAN leaders need to be more assertive and more forward-looking to be meaningful in facing new challenges. Kun Arin also explains why he believes that the call made by Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad of Malaysia for ASEAN countries to speak with one voice should be heeded more than ever.
And to grow and build ASEAN brands.
Tony Fernandez, the Group CEO of AirAsia, reflected this point quite well in his speech. He talked about reason why, despite the huge population of 650 million combined of the 10 ASEAN countries, ASEAN still don't have a serious so-called ASEAN brands, and then he blamed the existence of barriers, both visible and invisible, causing this problem. So, do you think he made the right point?
His points, I'd say, are perfectly valid. Okay. Now, if you look at ASEAN as a whole, the only thing that you hear about would be, if I say this, Tony will be very happy. Yeah. And, AirAsia, for example.
Okay.
You would look at AirAsia, it's really for ASEAN. Yeah, he's correct that we don't, have, maybe I should say no brand, but we don't have, some brands that will reflect the fact that, hey, this is ASEAN brand. And you know what? We've been talking about this particular issue for at least, I'd say, eight years. In the past, we say, okay, we need to do something about this. We need to, anything we produce, even if it's made in Thailand, we should have a little phrase to say that ASEAN, made in ASEAN.
It never happens.
Right. Why? Because the leaders have not paid too much attention in this area, and they should.
Despite all the meetings they have been having, right?
Yeah, and they should. No, I understand. You have to understand that there are so many issues they have to do. Okay.
There's still sense of competition, jealousy probably among ASEAN countries. Yeah?
That too, which I think shouldn't be the case anymore. I think we should really work together, like Prime Minister Mahathir talked to us, just last week. Yeah. We should be together. We should be looking at what we can do best in each of the countries, and stay together. We have 650 million people. China has maybe 1.4 billion people, and they can develop something so that the domestic demand is satisfied, and they can make a lot of money with, the 650 million people in ASEAN. We should be doing something about it. Right. We learn from what we see in China. I think that's something that we should really heed the recommendation from Mahathir.
Since you mentioned Prime Minister Mahathir, I think I need to refer to your conversation with him on the stage, right? For the Thai media at least, the most quoted statement came from this 94-year-old leader of Malaysia, right. When he called on ASEAN countries to speak with one voice when facing pressure from Western countries. And the question is, ASEAN has been around, 52 years, right. And yet, you still needed to be reminded to be united and to speak with one voice. Why?
This is a long story, but let me not comment much on this thing, because we should start now to improve the situation, to do something better for ASEAN, to be one voice better than in the past. Okay. How we can reach that particular stage depends on the leaders. Yeah, depends on the leaders. So I think if we can stick together, I think we can do something. Like, Prime Minister Mahathir said, we have 650 million people. It's a lot of people. We can develop and try and make sure that, hey, we can satisfy our own domestic demand, produce our products and sell domestically. So we don't have to really depend on export. And also, if we do well, what's going to happen? We can also export some of our materials, which today I think we have some good quality materials that we can export to the world.
Back to the ASEAN summit itself, were you surprised and were you also disappointed that President Donald Trump didn't come and instead send a low-level delegation to represent him?
It's disappointing, and maybe he's got too many issues at home. sometimes you have to look at that situation also. But every day there's there's a daily issue with President Trump. But okay, I think he should have come or sent somebody higher, like perhaps Vice President Mike Pence to talk to our forum. We've got 1,200 people sitting there ready to listen to all the leaders, and America should have come.
Okay.
President Trump went to Forum ABIS in the Philippines 2017. He also didn't show up at the forum. Disappointing. Last year, Vice President Mike Pence was there, but didn't come to speak to us.
Okay.
We were hoping that Trump would be, here as a surprise, because I knew, 6-7 months ago that he wouldn't be coming. Now, sending National Security Advisor is okay for only one purpose, because I think he probably is doing a lot of work in terms of national security, and it's really for the East Asia Summit, which has to do with the security issues.
Very specific.
Yeah.
See, without Trump, so China took the center stage, unavoidably. So, but on the issue of China, I think as a businessman, and you, of course, I'm sure you must have discussed this a lot among your colleagues in ASEAN. The question of China's role in the region, I mean, of course, it's something not undeniable. I mean, that China is exerting itself. So, how should countries in ASEAN, as a grouping, and then Thailand as a country, deal with the rising influence of China?
But for us, China is our good trading partner. China is like our big brother, and I think we should try and get close to China to really, improve our understanding. Now, what's happening is that I think China sometimes too quiet, and it's, it's difficult for us to guess what China is thinking about ASEAN.
All right.
But by having good relationship, good rapport, I think it's going to help ASEAN. And really, we need Chinese help. Okay. So, as far as I'm concerned, I think we should be nice to China.
Okay.
And don't be too afraid of what they're going to do, because so far, the couple of years, I think they've been reasonably okay with us. May not be reasonably okay with the U.S.
Okay.
But hopefully everything will turn out okay for us in ASEAN.
And ASEAN and Thailand shouldn't be put in the position to choose between the U.S. and China, right?
We shouldn't. The superpowers, don't take side.
Okay.
But I think now that we in ASEAN we initiated ASEP with China in there, so we have to keep our good relation with the Chinese. But don't take side. I don't recommend that we take side.
That was Kun Arin Jira, chairman of the ASEAN Business Advisory Council, and his views on the recently concluded ASEAN Summit and related meetings. And that's all for ThaiPBS World tonight. Thank you for watching.